everything you see new ceiling tile, new lighting, new furniture, new paint, new carpet. Like 20 chairs. They lower them chairs, they lower the prices down.
I think it was me.
Telephone. You don't even have a telephone. It's all through the computer.
It was me.
You just do point and click, and it all comes to your headset. It's the same setup at all 5 centers. Those raise up and down, there's a control over there for it. But you can raise the monitors up. You can actually stand up and type and do everything. Yellow and everything. Air control. Got sensors here if you leave your area for so long. It shows.
The list and give those to Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got our Rescue 91, all their radios on that. Say that
Theirs say 93 too?
Right.
Okay, we can change that real quick.
I'll have them check them later on and make sure.
Let's turn it.
Yeah. Back he gave us the blank panels and then he cut the holes and he puts brackets on the backside to hold them up.
Let's turn on gray.
This is really nice.
Yeah. There's always the other
All the
sensor.
city green that pulls through here.
When we dispatch it.
Well, it's kind of neat because I know, Bill Foot. I mean, he's been here for.
Through Zyvic?
No,
Your office
Corporate
supply?
Express.
Oh.
That Ken.
Yeah.
Did you order your mask for him?
Yeah.
He was real.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for attending on such a bleary morning as we have, and fortunately some of the weather forecasters were kind of sort of correct. We're going to make it through. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Melvin Caraway, who will be explaining the purpose for us being here for the announcement of the statewide public safety counterterrorism radio system. So this time, again, my pleasure to introduce to you the Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Melvin Caraway.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. It is my distinct honor to really congratulate the family of firefighters, police officers, and public safety officials from Johnson County to be the first agency on the statewide Project Hoosier safety system. Johnson County, you should be very, very proud. This initiative was started back in 1997. Many of you that are standing here in front of me today were participants in a summit that we had, where we first began to talk about having a statewide communication system. A system where firefighters, law enforcement officials, and other public safety officials would be able to communicate, pick up a radio, and talk to your brother and sister firefighter or public safety official without the interference of anything at all impeding that transmission and that communication system. We're very proud today to have Johnson County as that first system on this statewide communication voice and data system. The Indiana State Police, Johnson County, Franklin, all of those agencies now are going to be able to communicate on a single radio. We'll have a demonstration of that later on in this press conference. Without further ado, however, I'd like to introduce to you Lieutenant Governor Joe Kernan, who as a former mayor understands the importance of having communications in a local department, who also understands, as being the lieutenant governor of this state, how important it is for all of us to communicate after the events of September 11th and all of the other tragic events that have occurred nationwide as well as here in Indiana. Lieutenant Governor.
Mel, thank you very much. Mayor Charlie, to you and the county commissioners, local elected officials here in Johnson County, congratulations on taking this huge step forward to protect the citizens of your community. We have had now for 3 months the Indiana Counterterrorism and Security Council that has been at work. And our primary goal early on has been to make sure that there is communication, not just within state government, but also vertically, as we deal with our counterparts at the federal level as well as in local communities, recognizing that the sharing of information is extremely important. But that is more on the strategic level. What is arguably even more important is that here at the local level, where everything happens, where our first responders, police officers, firefighters, emergency medical technicians will be those that are responding immediately in the event that some terrorist activity takes place here in the state of Indiana, as well as involved in the very important work of preventing terrorist activity here in Indiana. And this step in putting Hoosier Project Safety in place in Johnson County, with the prospect that we will continue to make efforts across the state of Indiana to have in place a system where local law enforcement can communicate with each other across jurisdictional lines, as well as with members of the Indiana State Police, as well as with federal officers in the event that they are needed, is extremely important for the safety of Hoosier citizens. This is an enormous step forward. You have set the tone in this community by recognizing that there is no place for turf in these most important issues that we deal with. And as important it will be in our counterterrorism and security issues, it's also extremely important every day as first responders are out there dealing with the variety of different issues that they face 24 hours a day. And this will give them the tools that they need to be more efficient, more effective, and make sure that they're providing the best service possible to the citizens of their particular community. Partners in our efforts in counterterrorism include the Indiana General Assembly. And a member of the Counterterrorism and Security Council and the leader of the Indiana House of Representatives is our speaker, and it's my pleasure to introduce the Honorable John Gregg. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I want to commend Johnson County and Superintendent and Mayor, all the law, fire, and public safety personnel for their efforts in this matter. We in the legislature will begin starting on Monday of next week, having a hearing on the bill that will place into our counterterrorism bill, allowing the 800 megahertz system to go statewide, and a mechanism for that. And that wouldn't be done without all of your support, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
There are a lot of dignitaries with us, but it really gives me a great pleasure to introduce another partner with us from the very beginning of this effort. He has stood by us. He has provided resources to us. When we called, the Mayor of Greenwood was always there. Mayor Henderson.
Great honor today to stand up here and welcome the Lieutenant Governor and the Speaker of the House and the Superintendent to Johnson County and to Greenwood. On behalf of our county commissioners, Joe Dehart, who could not be here because of illness, Jim Rhodes, who is here, and Bill Walker, who is here, to also welcome you and tell you how important this is to all of us. I want to give you a quick history of what's taken place in Johnson County. We're like all counties. We had communications problems, and we now had that problem solved. But we only have it solved because of cooperation and teamwork from not only here in Johnson County, but from the state level on through. I want to tell you how that came about. Back several years ago, some of my officers came to me, both police and fire, and said, we have to have a communication system. We have a dire need. And I said, how much money do they need? And they said, oh, they need somewhere around $1.5 million to $2.5 million. And I said, we don't have the money. Well, about the same time, I think God blessed me, because I got a phone call from the governor's office saying, would I serve on this committee for a statewide public safety system? And quite frankly, I wasn't wanting to do that because it was fairly time consuming, but I took that appointment from the governor, and I appreciate that, and became a part of the policy committee. Through that, I learned what was going to take place if we all partnered. I came back, and with the help of John Asher from the Sheriff's Department Dispatch, Assistant Chief Rick McQuarrie from Greenwood, and Joe Pitcher representing Johnson County Commissioners and Johnson County government, they put together a team of local public safety and elected officials, and they went to every elected official in Johnson County, at the town level, the township level, the city level, and they had a resolution or a proclamation drawn up and got every one of those folks to sign on that we needed to be in this system, that we needed to fund our share of the system. With all those signatures, they took it to the county commissioners. They said, okay, we'll go to the county council. The county council then unanimously said, yes, we'll participate. So our county, with every elected official signing on board, with every public safety officer signing on board, floated a bond to pay for our share of this system. And that's why we're here today. Now that didn't happen easily, it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of hard work from a lot of people. But they worked hard, and now the citizens of Johnson County is going to be better protected. And the men and women from the state level, federal level, all the way down to the local volunteer fire department is going to have better communications, and they're going to be better protected. And I'm excited about that, and I thank you for being here.
I would be remiss if I didn't introduce a couple of people that were here. Joe Pitcher, Bill Walker, County Commissioner, J.D. Richards, the Sheriff, Colonel Bruce Clear from DNR. I think there's also Commissioner Rhodes that is here. There's plenty of chiefs that both fire and law enforcement are here. I would really be remiss if I didn't say hello and thank you to Chief Don, who was with us from the very beginning. And it's kind of shocking to think that we're up on the stage at one particular point talking about this effort. And here we are in Johnson County actually being the first community to have it. This system isn't about the Indiana State Police. And it isn't even about Johnson County. It's about the hundreds of thousands of citizens and visitors to the state of Indiana each and every day who are expecting safety and security in their travels, in their homes, and in their business and jobs alike. It's about law enforcement, public safety being able to service the very best of our ability. This communication system is going to allow us to do that. This communication system is going to also make the officers feel secure in their jobs and their responsibilities as well. It is also about their safety in providing a communication system that works, a communication system that is reliable. Understanding what our fiscal situations are today, but is no less as important for law enforcement and public safety to have this system. I'm very grateful to the community here in Johnson County. We're going to continue with our efforts in providing the whole of the state with this system. We intend to have other communities up and ready by the summer. We're going to go into northern Indiana, as well as southeastern Indiana, and then finally the southwest. We have every law enforcement agency who wants to join, who cares to be a part of the system, on the system. We're going to have a demonstration now of how this system really works. Now let me first tell you that these were all the different radios that officers had to carry, that officers had to have in their radios and in their possession. This is the radio today.
Dispatch Center acknowledging test of the Hoosier safety system.
Johnson County Dispatch Center acknowledging test of the Hoosier safety system.
New Whiteland Dispatch acknowledging test of the Hoosier safety system.
Franklin PD Dispatch Center acknowledging test of the Hoosier safety system.
This concludes the test of the Hoosier Safety 800 MHz test for Johnson County KA 1072-1021.
Thank you very much. What you just saw and heard were a number of communities, different communities, sped by boundaries, but having one single line of communication. We're very grateful for our friends at Motorola who are helping get us through this very difficult time. Very grateful for the members of Johnson County family who are able to demonstrate this for us today. Without further ado, I take any questions. We're more happy to take any questions at this particular time.
Given the state's budget crunch, is
it going to be difficult to try to get the system with the state's participation, what they're doing, the counties, I know they'll come and go. Is it going to be difficult for the state to participate now with the budget crisis looming?
We're always partnering with our friends in the legislature, always letting them know what the difficulties that public safety is having. They have heard us, and I believe they're going to meet that challenge.
Where's money coming from?
Well, at this particular point, we have not identified that, but certainly in discussions with our legislators, we'll find a way to get this done.
If 911 hadn't occurred, would it be more difficult to get this system, do you think?
Realistically, probably wouldn't be. Many of you wouldn't be standing here today if it hadn't been for 911. It would have made it more important for us. But believe you me, the urgency of the system hasn't changed since 1997. We realize how important it is to all of public safety.
It's going to help the state police overall across the state as you go on.
Even here in Johnson County, those law enforcement officers with the Indiana State Police will also have their radio be able to communicate. It's going to help all of the agencies within the state. It's not just the Indiana State Police, but all law enforcement and public safety agencies. You could take, for example, a pursuit that may occur across boundaries. One law enforcement officer, if we talked about yesterday, would be able to pick up a radio, would never be able to communicate with the Indiana State Police or with that other law enforcement community right next to it. Nor would there be an opportunity to have an emergency services vehicle, an ambulance, there ready should there be a need for them. But now today, that single radio communication will happen simultaneously, that everyone will be able to respond and provide the care to the citizens of this state immediately.
So before you had to go through like a dispatch to do that communication?
That's correct. You had to go to a dispatch, or sometimes there would not be a communication system at all. There are different systems, and sometimes they did not operate together. So sometimes you would be without from one community to the next, that communications link between law enforcement and public safety.
Does this new system allow them to essentially turn to a certain channel, or they're already on it?
They can turn to a channel. It can be a private conversation, or it can be a conversation with everyone in that community involved with a single switch of the radio. And dispatch can do that as well. Thank you all so very much for being here.
At this time, the city of Greenwood would like to invite any of the media members that would like to see the dispatch center to do so and see what the facility there comprises of.
Oh, you're going to use it on the news tonight? Yeah.